Hi everyone, my name is Flore Dorcely-Mohr. I am the Senior Director for Career Services for the online and Paramus campus teams. Today is Wednesday, May 23rd, and I will be talking about how online learning prepares students and graduates for working online. So a little bit about myself. I joined Berkeley College in April of 2014. I have a lot of years of working in career services, but definitely love working at Berkeley. It's just my favorite setting so far. I've worked at other schools to do career services before, and even another online school, but definitely love working here at Berkeley the best. I'm associated also with several online career professional groups, LinkedIn, state and regional, on the ground organizations. So have lots of information to share with you. Hopefully you will find this useful. So our topics for this webinar are one, to describe the experience of earning your online degree or just, taking online classes, what I hope you will get out of that, and evaluating the employer perspective of online learners and employees. Why do employees or employers value that? And then just a quick overview of what we do with online career services and how we help students that are in the online space. So we've separated the information into two parts, the academic benefits to online learning and then the professional benefits in part two. So let's go to part one. As I said before, I really do believe that working with online students, it's not that, on the ground doesn't do this, but I think with online, we just work a lot faster. We realize that the students that we're working with tend to be busy professionals or people that have other obligations that require them to be more self-paced, that want that convenience. That's why we record all of these videos so that people can get the information, not just online students, but generally our online students are looking to get information and do their coursework and their homework and even, do their research at a time that's convenient for them. So we find that, that type of population wants to fit their education in with the rest of their life, working full time or other obligations that they have. And because Berkeley has, from certificate programs, associates and bachelors all the way to master's programs, I see a wide variety of students using the online space to take classes or just pursue a whole degree. Another benefit that I think is really great, and again, this does happen on the ground as well, but online, there's a way so that you guys can see your grade books, from moment to moment so you can easily know how you're doing. Definitely we've improved at Berkeley, I think, how that's going to happen, because now with Canvas coming, you should be able to do that whether you're an online or on the ground student, but you'll be able to see it online. There's more innovative instruction, I think, than traditional schools with online. You have the visual, you have the auditory learners, you have mixed media formats for how the information is provided to you in your classes. And again, at Career Services, we see students that have that ability to understand information in so many different ways, translate into better employment opportunities for those students. So I definitely think that, having the online format makes some of that information more accessible and maybe more welcoming for students that are not your traditional age, maybe that might, ordinarily maybe feel very isolated almost. If you're not a traditional age student, or if you're a first generation student, or if you're a military or veteran student, you're not your typical student, you might find being online somewhat more appealing because you can fit it into whatever format you already have. And then, another great thing I think is that sometimes I do hear from students that it can be a little bit isolating, I guess, to be online, but we've done so many things, I think, to engage our students. In fact, our new portal in the Canvas system is going to be called Engage, with the discussion boards that you have to interact with your classmates. Take advantage of those. Give feedback to your professors and to your peers. I know that with all the accreditations, we have so many accreditations and sort of credentials for our online program. We've been doing it for 20 years. That really makes the type of school that we run at a very high standard. And I know that sometimes, students have questions about how they can better use their time here. So I put in there a note about academic advisement and how they can answer questions about your general degree programs. Because I just recently went to a training, and there's constant training here at Berkeley, but we just recently went to a training where academic advisement is now allowing students to at least be able to plan their courses. In the past we haven't really given that much accessibility. So there's that. There's also looking at how your degree is mapped out over time, that you can see in a much different way. So, all new developments and helpful for students that are not your traditional, brick and mortar going to class, type of student on the ground. So let's talk about part two. As I said, I do believe that there are a lot of benefits that employers see to online learners specifically. And this is not to say that other students cannot get this, but because I work so much in the online space, I want to emphasize that, just like here, when you probably applied as an online student, if you're an online student, the application process is all online for many employers. So if you are accustomed to applying to school online, you will already have some of that familiarity. There are a lot of employers who, similar to admissions, have their tracking systems online. So if you want to know where you're at, and kind of get a status update, you need to log into a computer to see at what point you are in the process. Often personality skills or skills-based, evaluations are conducted online for jobs. And then, your work experience definitely matters, but online degree candidates are, I think, especially valued in fields where you have technical proficiency being very high on, employers' list of qualifications. So IT and marketing come, first to mind, but more and more I'm finding that employers are looking for technical proficiency or at least familiarity with technology. So if you did an entire degree online, let alone a few classes, I think that definitely gives you an advantage. More benefits. Once you get hired, trainings, orientations, important HR information are sometimes distributed online or at least in a virtual format. So having that familiarity with getting information in that way is certainly a benefit. I know with students that are all over the world in our online classes, if not, pursuing your entire degree online, you already know, that you have to be somewhat flexible in collaborating time zones and understanding, how different cultures work. I think that sophistication, if I can say, with being able to understand those differences definitely makes you a more marketable candidate. I also tell students all the time, if you are having scheduling issues and you're an on-the-ground student, consider going, online, because you have the ability to work within your schedule. You still have to make time for your classes. It's not like you can't, you have to still make time to take the classes or to do the work. But I think the flexibility of not having to change your work schedule for on-site classes as you would, if you were on the ground, makes a big difference. What else? There was a recent Pew study done where they looked at how many Americans have taken a course or sought additional training in the past year to improve their job skills or expertise to connect to career advancement. So 63% is the percentage, which is, pretty remarkable. I think most people, if they had a choice and or an option to get additional training, they would take it. And being able to fit that training into maybe an already busy schedule might be challenging. So looking at how you can do that in a virtual way is certainly why, online classes, online degrees have exploded over, the number of years. We've been in business for 20 years. Berkeley College has. So, I think, we've gotten a pretty good understanding of how to offer that in a way that makes sense for our students. Of the 63% that I mentioned, 57% said that they needed a license or certification for their job. So it's clear that it's not just for their own familiarity and technological skills, but also just to be able to maintain or to do better and get promoted in their positions that people are doing this. And then another 39% were hoping to learn how to turn a hobby into an income generating pursuit. So this again touches on what I said before. I've already done I recorded a previous video on working online. And so, if you haven't seen that one, please check it out. But it's along the same lines that, there are a lot of people that are looking to supplement their income or just 100% work virtually. So having that online background in class or in pursuing your degrees, I think makes you certainly much more familiar with at least the technology, if we look at it that way. Another percentage from this research study, 24% of all workers reported working toward a promotion or raise. And a smaller percentage said that they were hoping to change careers or were concerned about downsizing with their current employer. So that's a big concern that I talk to students about all the time, no matter what the major is. Even if they're an IT major, let's say, they're concerned that their skills, because the IT majors, they're concerned that the technology is growing so fast, by the time they graduate, maybe, it won't be relevant. IT, or let me just say, the technological skills that you get working in an online environment or, going to school in an online environment are, I think, definitely a good way to stay sharp, no matter what your major is. You might think because maybe you're a fashion major that the technology is not necessarily important for you to keep up with, and you would be wrong. I think that it's important to stay up on the technology that is related to your major, regardless of your major. So, because there's always computers and technologies involved. And we actually have another video that we recorded about that specific topic where we talked about the specific technology. And we're recording videos on every single major, what you need to know and how you can be successful and what you can do with your major, touching on the technology and the skills and the types of jobs that you can expect. So look out for those. If you don't see your major, it's coming soon. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about working with online career services because, sometimes we have some misconceptions that we hear from students all the time. So I want to just kind of touch on those. So first of all career counselors work with students regardless of their location. I know you might be assigned a specific career counselor, for your major, but it doesn't matter where you're located. You can be in Alaska, as long as you're in the continental United States or even non-continental United States, we'll work with you. Besides video and phone conferencing, we can also meet with students and grads on site. So if you're near a campus, that's also true. The on-campus career services team that exists there are for the campus students that are on that campus, But we will go to a campus, even though we are technically online, if that is best for you. So just don't be afraid to ask if that is something that you would like to have happen and you live near a campus. Also, we constantly communicate via email, text, social media to share resources like career fairs, hot jobs. If we have events that are happening near where our students are. The majority of our students are in New York and New Jersey, but certainly we would love to keep in touch with our students wherever they happen to be, and we can do research for you wherever you are. So if there are opportunities to get some career resources or to attend a career event, if you're communicating with your career counselor, hopefully you will be aware of those things and they can keep you abreast. We subscribe to regional and national databases to find jobs, internships, other career-related events local to whatever your location happens to be. The only places that we don't really work with students with, and that's really because we don't have the resources, is for international students. But if you're, in the United States somewhere, we will help you to find an opportunity to prepare you for your internship, or if you're a current student looking for a part-time position. For a lot of students right now, they're looking for summer jobs since we're coaching up on summer, and certainly with our grads. Lastly, we maintain active membership with professional networking associations, and not just at the local level, although we do have things, local to the cities and certainly the states where we are, where our campuses are, but at the regional and the national level as well for employer contacts and resources. So I'm getting ready to go, in fact, to a national conference in a few weeks to maintain the relationships and the contacts that I already have at the national level and to develop new ones, because there's always employers at these events. Sometimes just communicating online is not enough. I really need to make that face-to-face contact. And I think that the employers appreciate that as well. So I push my team to get off their seats and out of the office and make those contacts for you guys, students and grads. And hopefully, you will also get the opportunity to do that within your own careers for your majors. If you need help, again, identifying professional development organizations, that's why we're here. And we'll help you to even connect with networking opportunities. Sometimes we sponsor them ourselves. So please, again, keep in touch with your career counselor so you can find out about those. So thank you so much for attending my video. If you have any questions, my contact information is right there. If I can put you in touch with your career counselor directly, I will be happy to do so. If I can't, then, if I am your career counselor, then I will do that. I will definitely be the person to assist you. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.